I'm Ryan DeBell from Move It Fix. This is Move It Fix Monday. In this video, we're looking at how to do the 90-90 hip stretch, which is a great way to work on the shorter muscles around your hip and the mobility of your hip joint. This is really hard to set up, and people they mess it up all the time. But you're not going to mess it up because I'm going to show you a really easy way to do it. So take a band or a dowel or something that can make a straight line, and then you're going to put it on the ground. Now, once you have it on the ground, you need to put three things. If you put these three things on the same line, you should be pretty close to where you need to be. So the first thing is you're going to choose a leg and put the inside of your knee on that leg on the line or the band or whatever. On that same side, you're going to put the inside of your ankle on that line. So it would look like this. Inside of my knee, inside of my ankle, boom, on the same line, okay? Then the third point is the outside of the other ankle. So if I put the outside of this ankle on the same line, that puts me into this 90-90 position. Look at my feet. You see, I'm not pointing them. I want them to also be 90 degrees. It's just a standard way of doing this. So now that I'm here, I have two directions that I'm going to go. The first one is going forward over this front leg. That's going to stretch this hip joint into external rotation and flexion. So if I think about a little point on my chest right here and someone's pulling on it, I'm going to lean forward, and that point is going over the middle of my shin. If you turn and go this way, or if you turn and go this way, you're not going to get what you want. You should have someone pulling you here like this, and then you should be feeling it on the outside of this down-legged hip. Now, if I really go like that, I go farther, but I'm not actually getting that motion in the hip joint. I'm getting it through my spine. So keep your chest up, think about that point, and then you can do any type of stretching technique that you like here. And there's typically three that I'll do in whatever position I'm working on. You could do sort of just reps. So go to the depth until you feel like you hit the end, come out of it, go until you feel it, come out of it. So that would be like the rep type method. You could do a relaxation where you get to a point, breathe and try to relax and go farther, and do that for 1 or 2 minutes of sustained holding. Or you can do a contract relax technique. And so for that, I would go to the point where it's stretching. Then I'm going to push my leg into the ground, this leg right here. Hold that for 5-10 seconds. There's different protocols that are all based on other people, different people's techniques. 10 seconds, relax, and then try to go a little bit farther. Okay, so point here, pulling, use any of those techniques. The second motion that you do is for this back leg. And the way that I perform this is I lean back a little bit, and then you have to push this knee into the ground. You have to actively go like that, like you're trying to squeeze this line under your knee. That'll prevent the hip from opening up like this, which is not internal rotation. So you have to push it down to create the internal rotation. And a lot of times people have irritation on the inside of their knee while they're doing this, but if you push it into the ground, that helps. Okay, so I'm going to lean back slightly and then twist this way. And where should you feel this? I feel it deep inside of my hip. It's not pinching. It's not a hip quad or hip flexor stretch. It feels like it's in my hip, and it feels good. It doesn't feel bad. So I'm going to twist, hold that, use any of those techniques you want. Breathing, or you could do reps, or you could push into the ground. Now when you push into the ground for this, you want to basically push, like you could try to lift this up, or you could push into the ground with this. Whatever method you want to use if you're trying to go into or out of the range of motion. Like I said, there's many techniques and ways to do this. Now, for many people when they do this drill, they get here and they're like, oh, and they can't reach the ground, so it's hard for them. And in that case, take a ball or a chair or something like that, and then put this hand on it, and that'll give them something to relax into so they can get more range of motion. Now, when I'm going this way, I am visualizing in my head the ball and socket of my hip joint being the place where I'm trying to target the range of motion. So if you think about like this comes up and it's like a ball, I'm visualizing rotation in my hip. So don't just twist through your back and your low back and your upper back and stuff. We're really, the target is this hip joint. So you have to put that in your mind so you can have better accuracy on what you're doing. Now, if you wanted to put it together, you could just do reps. And this is the way I like to do it before squatting or something, would be lean forward, come back, lean forward, come back. And I would do like 10 reps of that and then switch legs. Okay, point, 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 it gets me there. And then do the same thing. Go forward, come back, etc. Now, if you start to feel it like in the front of your leg, you might be like this. So this is what a lot of people will do. And then they try to do this and they're like, ooh, I just feel like really stretching my quad. And am I on the 3 points? No. So go on the 3 points and it'll probably solve your problems. So that's how to set up the 90-90 hip stretch, and that's how to do it. Different techniques, but the setup is the way I described here. And you can use whatever other style you like on top of it. So yeah, that's what I got for you guys this week on Movement Fix Monday. Hope you enjoyed it. Make sure to follow us and subscribe on YouTube and Instagram at The Movement Fix. I'll see you guys next week.